terms of ASMR. And one of the things that I thought I would do is something that I found a while ago. I think I saw a TikTok on it. I can't remember who made the video, but in their bio they had a link to this PDF, which is to basically create monsters for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. And there's a whole bunch of tables you'll be able to see on the screen. That side, a whole bunch of tables with little numbers on there, and basically you roll on these different elements of what make up a monster, and then at the end you'll have like some details, and then you can create a bit of a monster from it. You can do it as you go along. There's not really anything defined about how to do this. It's just something to get you creative, and I wanted to do a stream like doing this at one point, but I just never really got around to doing it. And I don't know, I find it less cringe to do it in ASMR because I don't know why. I guess maybe because people can't hear me. But we're gonna grab some gum. We're gonna do a bit of this and just see where we go. Hopefully this is not going to be too loud, and hopefully there won't be any other sounds. I'll have to try and edit out. So today, before we open it, we've got extra again because it's like the only brand that's in the shop near me. This time we've got apple flavour. Where is it? There. Apple flavour. So I've got a couple of different types. So let's get into this one. But we're gonna have the apple one today. Here we go. We're gonna start out with a couple of pieces because there's not a lot in them, but at the same time, you know, I want a natural chew. Oh, I can already taste the apple. I can already taste it. Alright. It's very nice. I want to eat it. I just dropped it on the floor. Yeah, this is dangerous because I want to eat this. Right. We may add a few more pieces as we go, but we're going to start things off. So, the way in which this works is you'll see on the table opposite me, right about there, there's a kind of like a subheading, and each of these has a different subheading for a different kind of element of the monster. Next to it will say a dice number, so a d20. That means a 20-sided dice, which looks like that. It's a d20, there you go, there's a natural 20 there. We've got a d6, d8. I think they might be the only ones. There might be a d4 in there somewhere, but it's likely to be it. I've got a dice tray here full of dice, and that, where is it? There, that bag there is filled with more dice, and I have more downstairs in storage. I'm a bit of a dice goblin. I like my click-clack meth rocks. So I'm going to pop another one in because that's already getting a bit too small for me. Oh, that's actually really good. I didn't expect to like this one. So we're going to start things off. Don't know how many of these we'll do. We'll just see how long it takes us. But we're going to start off by rolling the d20, and then this list on the side. We'll see what number it is, and that'll be the monster type. So I'm going to be doing some writing. I don't know how well it's going to pick up the sound of a pencil, but that's fine. So I'm going to first monster we're making is the monster type. So before I roll, just a bit of an idea of what these mean. Apparition is sort of like a creature humanoids are. You can imagine like orc, elves, etc. Plant, explanatory. Beast is anything like a natural animal. Humanoid table again. Not, obviously, put humanoids in there a lot. An ooze, like some kind of slime creature. A celestial. It's like something like an angel. Monstrosity, kind of a creature made by magic. Construct, like a machine. A giant. Just a kind of like a humanoid but big. They're their own sort of thing. Dragon, wonder what that could be. A fiend, things like devils or demons. Elemental, something made purely of some kind of element like water, fire, air or earth. But it can be more than that, it could be like mud or something. Fae, like fairies and witches and stuff. Undead, zombies. And reroll. So let's go ahead and give it a go. We've got a 3. Interesting. I can hear some seagulls. It might be a dog actually. Not sure if you can hear that. It's pretty quiet. So we've got the monster type. It's a plant. Interesting. So we're going to move down on the side. Now we're on size. So the size, pretty self-explanatory. It tells us how big the thing is. So tiny is like a few inches. Small, maybe up to your waist. Medium is like average human size. Large, up to about 10 feet. Huge is 15 feet. And gargantuan is 20 and beyond. So, let's go and roll for the size. So this is going to be a D6, which you're probably all familiar with this one. It's a normal 6-sided die. I really hope these sounds are not too loud. We're going to find out by the end of this. I've got some metal dice which I intentionally did not choose. So we rolled a 2. It's going to be a small creature. A small plant. Nice. So next, we have hit points. So the hit points mean this is how much damage it can take before it is destroyed or defeated. So this is a D4. And a D4 looks like a little pyramid. So we roll that. We got a 3. So the hit points are 3 D100s, which we're gonna roll out ourselves now. And how do we figure out a D100? Well, we take 2 dice that are D10, so that these are both 2. These are both 10-sided dice. They go up to 10. One of them is in increments of single digits, and the 0 means 10. And this one is like in increments of 10. So what we do is we would roll these, and if this came up with, say, what number is that? 60. That came at the top. And this came as a 7. It would be 67. Oh, so you're kind of adding them together. Just knock that off. What we do, if a 0 comes up, that means a 10. So if I got a 60 and a 0, that would be 60. It means like the 10th. If we got 0, 0, and then 0 again, that would be 100. That's how that works. Oh my gosh, I keep knocking this book because I can't see the edge of it. So we're going to roll this 3 times and add them all together. So we got 72. It's going to be a pretty nasty monster, I'll tell you that. We got 13. That is 85. 0, 0, and 8 means 8. So I'll be a total of 93. 93 hit points. And we could figure out what the average of different hit dice that might be. For those that are really, really interested in that, but we're not going to do that. There's not much point. We're going to go up to alignment now. So alignment is sort of like the morality of a particular creature. Now usually plants and beasts don't have an alignment. Well, they'll have an alignment, but it will be either neutral or no alignment. Which just basically means they don't have morality. Which is fine because morality comes from like intelligence, right? That's a whole another subject. Maybe I'll do a philosophy video. Get another piece in there. It's very nice, but I am going through it. I probably should have bought a bigger tub. So we're done. We've done hit points. Let's go into alignment, and that's a D8, which looks like a diamond. Diamond check, 2 D4s on top of each other. I'm gonna roll that. Let me get a 1. A lawful good small plant. This is going to be very interesting. And now we're going to do movement. So this tells us the way in which it can move around. It doesn't tell us its speed, but it tells us how it moves. That's another D6. Let's go ahead. That's another 2. So that's a walking and flying speed, which means it can walk on the ground, it can move on the ground normally, and it can fly. So now we're going to move on to senses. This is how it perceives the world. We've got a 5, which is extra perception. I actually don't know what that means. Oh, these are special senses. What is that? I actually don't know what that is. I'm going to look that up real quick. What does that mean? I've never heard that term before. Oh, I reckon it might be a warlock thing. This is a warlock thing. It's taking ages to load, so I don't know. I've never heard of it before. Extrasensory perception. Never heard of that ever. There's nothing coming up, that's obvious. I actually genuinely have no idea what that means. Extra perception, what does that mean? I just want to look to see if it has. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's already on there, so I don't know what that means. I think what I'm going to say is I'm going to take that as roll twice. Extra perception, I don't know what that means. Just roll that again. So we've got a 2, which is blind sight, which makes sense. So senses, blind sight. Interesting that, I don't know why. special actions. Special actions, which is another D8. This will tell us if it has anything special. 4. Mythic. What that means is, when it's reduced to 0 hit points, usually what happens is, it regains hit points back to its max and something changes about it. So it's something that changes when it dies, basically. Interesting. Let's go with resistances. So are there any things that it's resistance to? And then we'll go to the damage table if it is resistant to anything. So you'll see that this changes now to 2d6. So instead of 1, we're rolling 2 and adding them together. But the numbers don't change, see, which means what we're doing is seeing if we've got we're rolling them individually, basically. So there's 2 chances of getting a resistance. So we're going to roll. We have a 2 and a 6, so 1 resistance. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look down to the damage table, and that's there's 12 options here. So we're going to roll a d12, which looks like a mini d20. We're going to do that. I've got a 4. Interesting. So it's resistant to radiant damage. We're going to go to immunity now. Roll another d6. We don't want anything, it's just a design in it. 5. It does have an immunity. So we're going to roll again. And if we get radiant again, we'll change it out. We'll roll again. But we did not roll again. We got a 9, which is slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing. Ooh. So slash, bludge, pierce. That's pretty good. That's pretty strong. Now we're going to look at damage specialty. So this is if the monster does a specific kind of damage. We've got a 1, so it does fire damage. Okay. What we're going to do now is look to see the proficiencies. Are there any skills that they're good at? We're going to roll 3d6 and consult here, and then go through each one. So we're going to roll 3d6. Give me another dice. 3d6. Let's go. We've got a 3, a 6, and a 5. So the 6 is none. So we've got a 3, which is intelligence, and a 5, which is charisma. Interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the intelligence now. So what we're going to do is going to put down skills. So let's roll the intelligence first. Roll another d6. Got a 1. So it's arcana. It is proficient with arcana for some reason. And then charisma is a d4. So the pyramid again. And I got a 3. So that is performance. Interesting. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the challenge rating. So after rolling on the above tables, select your monster's CR, AC and proficiency bonus. Now AC would be based on some of the experience in CR is to basically determine how difficult, how high level it is. Now with a hit point of about 93 and the immunities, my best guess would be looking at something around a CR of 6 or 7. That is my guess. So I'm going to put down in brackets 6/7 in CR. The proficiency bonus of maybe about 4, which just means like some special roles that you're skilled at, you get to add a number on there. So now we're going to look at if this thing speaks any languages. Now, I'm going to say, because this thing is a plant, I mean it could technically speak languages. Is there anything on here? Now, I think what I'm going to do is, because it's a plant, I'm going to roll it just a d12, because it's the first thing I picked up, and on an even, we're going to roll on here, on an odd. It doesn't speak any languages. Okay, so I'm going to roll. It's an even number, so it does speak. So we're going to roll on here. I'm not going to include the common. Plus, it's going to be the 1 to 10 will be common. I think that's more fun. Let's say 45. It speaks Orc. Speaks Orc, and what else? We'll give it one more roll. 37. Gnomish. Gnomish, okay. Languages. Time to roll for some stats, which we will do in a moment. Oh, that's the humanoid tables. This, if we had rolled on the humanoid, this is what we would have made. So, time to roll some stats. Now, what I'm going to do is roll them in order. So, we've got strength, dex, constitution, wisdom, intelligence, and charisma. And the way in which we roll for statistics is we're looking at 3d6, but what we do is we roll 4 6-sided dice and then take away the lowest number that was rolled and add the remaining 3. So we're going to roll for strength first in order. It's not very good. So we got a 1, a 2 and a 3. So we take away one of the 1s because that is the statistic, the dice that was the lowest. So we've got 1, 2 and 3. So that is a total of 6 strength. Not very high. I'm going to move on to dexterity. This one's high. This one's very high. I'm going to take away the lowest number, which was the 3, leaving us with 2 6s and a 4. So that is 6, 12, 16 for dex. I'm going to continue on. For constitution, we're going to get, we rolled a 1, so we take that away. Got a 5, a 3 and a 3. So that's going to be an 11 for constitution. I'm going to roll for our wisdom now. Another pretty high roll, fucking hell, that was really high. Taking away the 1 we rolled, we had a 6 and a 5. So that is 12, 17 for wisdom. Pretty good. These are fairly low for monsters, to be honest, but it's fine. Another 1, we've rolled a 1 every time, I'm pretty sure. So that time we got a 3, a 4 and a 2. So that is 9. Intelligence, that is right. I think right. 5 and 4, yeah, 9. Finally, charisma. Oh, that was incredibly high. We rolled every single number there was a 6. If I was rolling for stats, my GM would not believe me, I tell you. So we rolled 4 6s, that's 18 for charisma. and assign them where you want. But for this, I'm just leaving as it is. So now comes the fun part. We've rolled the dice, and now we look at what we've got so far. So we're going to go through this again to keep this up. But what I might do is just move the camera over. This isn't going to break anything. So we have a plant type monster with a guess of a CR of 6 or 7. It's small but has a lot of hit points. It is good aligned, lawfully good, so it sticks to a code for the well-being of others. It can fly, it can move across the ground. It has blind sight, which means it doesn't need eyes. It can sense stuff around it. It also has dark vision. It has a special mythic ability that it gets when it drops to 0 hit points. It's resistant to radiant damage. It's immune to slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing. It deals fire. It has skills in Arcana and Performance, and can speak Orc and Gnomish. So I can hear a plane. So what do we want to do with this? My mind goes towards like a fungus of some kind. Some kind of fungus. Let's see here. There's some elements of magic there. We've got, if it speaks Gnomish, has pretty high wisdom and high charisma. Means it's a very cerebral entity. It doesn't have a massively high intelligence, but it doesn't need to. So it makes me think that it is something aware, self-aware, a plant that is self-aware. Resistance to radiant makes me think there might be some kind of like angelic properties there. Radiant damage is like holy light or like positive energy. Let's see. Got fire, damage type, and it's small. Now, here's what I've got so far. It is a sort of weird plant type creature that was a kind of fungal hive mind, and much like other fungal hive mind exists just in a simple state. Then let's see. Okay, I'm thinking like a bunch of gnomes died nearby, and the sort of like psionic energy that exists in like the Underdark, let's say, meant that the mushrooms almost like absorbed their elements of their cerebral nature before they died, granting them some kind of element of sentience. They became self-aware and began to take on like these small kind of humanoid-shaped plant-like forms. They have like we'll say that their ability to fly comes from like almost how some mushrooms have that what almost looks like silk drapes that dangle off their head or top, whatever it's called. Something like that allows them to fly. And not sure where the radiant comes into it, but they picked up on the kind of the essence of these gnomes, and now they've become around their own sort of species, and that's why they're lawfully good. They've taken on personality traits. They're obviously very kind of like charming, probably. Very inviting, and obviously know a lot about their environment. That's the wisdom. I think the dex comes from their ability to like actually be fungal creatures that move very much like myconids. So it's kind of like they're like kind of like myconids but much smaller. Little happy mushroom folk. In fact, we could even do away with the whole gnomish element. Do you know what? I'm going to take that away. Instead, they were bred by gnomes. They were kind of brought into existence with magic, and now they simply exist as their own species. But they absorbed a lot of magic in their time, which made them resistant to certain things. And their mythical properties give them some new abilities if they're dropped to 0, because the hive mind brings them back and reanimates the body for another chance. And much like gnomes, they didn't want to make things that were bigger than them, so they developed these creatures of a similar size. Don't know if it was intentional, but there we go. So we have. So let's make a bit of a note on that. So, gnomes created small mushroom folk with magic. They fly with, I'm just going to call them mushroom drapes because I don't know what they're actually called. Mushroom drapes. What else can we say? And live in the Underdark. They're welcoming and friendly. With special abilities for the hive mind to bring them back from death. I mean, that's pretty good. So, there we go. That's the roll for Monster Maker. It's nothing official, it's just something I saw on TikTok once. Thought it was a lot of fun. Gives you some points to work from in order to get a bit creative, because sometimes if you're just like, I'm going to make a monster, it's a bit daunting sometimes. You need a bit of structure to work with something. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. I'd like to do maybe some more of this at some point. Just realised how long it took. I actually didn't think it'd take that long. So maybe